live? Hey, there we go. Hey guys, Funkymusic here. Real quick, just gonna review this private Warcraft servers with cross-realm play video by Dodgey. Just gonna go over some of the stuff he says in here and kind of address it real quick. If you guys don't know the history, me and Dodgey have not gotten along. We don't see eye to eye on a lot of things. I think he's a scrub. He knows that. I hope that he knows that I think that. I don't care what he thinks about me, but it's pretty obvious by the way he clicks and stuff, and then tries to say that all he does is dungeons and stuff, which he says in this video, which is hilarious. It's just nonsense. Let's just get right into it. I'm not gonna talk forever before we just start.
This is the Dodgey kebab, and you're watching a video about private server.
Let's actually play the video.
Trust me, I know PvP, and my PvP.
Here's where he tries to basically say that he knows PvP, and he's trying to he's trying to cast a shadow on how bad he actually is, and saying that he's basically trying to troll himself here is what he's trying to do, and it's horrendously bad, because dude, you can go through every single video you've ever done and it's you clicking.
Is the best there is. I'm so good that as a goodwill gesture, I try to handicap myself by playing badly.
No, you don't. No.
Clicking my abilities and keyboard turning. I do this to give everyone else a fighting chance.
Oh boy.
And definitely not because I'm a PvE guy that just wants to do dungeons and quests.
I don't care if you're a PvE guy who just wants to do dungeons and quests. I got no problem with that. It doesn't mean that you have to be stupid in a game that is a million years old and you haven't learned to keybind your abilities. You would think that somebody who plays World of Warcraft for this long, supposedly, would learn to keybind your abilities. I mean, it's not like it's rocket science. It's not that hard to keybind your abilities. Really, it's not. I kind of just want to skip ahead to the part where he's talking about cross realms here. He went to go speak to everybody.
So there's a high chance to Warmane because they are very proud of their tech that they've created to get cross-realm working.
They're very proud of it. Look, I know Malico, and me and Malico have talked about this when he's topped in stream and stuff and whatnot. And what he's basically talking about here, and correct me, he can come and correct me, or any of his little followers can come and correct me if I'm wrong. But what basically he says here, and I'll put a link to the description in the video. I'd like to find it if I could. If I can.
PvP guy, I only really do battlegrounds for the view on my main, get a match fairly quickly, so this makes as with cross-realm dungeon finder on retail, there is a strong case to say that it weakens community bonds.
It doesn't weaken community bonds, okay? Oh my goodness. Where's this guy's logic sometimes? I don't know.
But it's not worked perfectly. Now we come to the pros and cons that show you that they're from a different realm.
Okay, he's talking about how they're different realms and how you identify that.
You finish and a good time is had by all. As far as the actual gameplay of cross-realm goes, that's really as much as I can say about it. If there was there's a strong case to say that it
Let's just jump right to this.
Community bonds. When at weekends during peak time, Warmane has a huge population of.
Might want to actually check that out. It does have a huge population, but it's not entirely accurate, as we've talked about 1,000,001 times.
They're after Lich King realms, and so you can just jump into PvP games, and you're probably not going to see the same people in each game.
Okay, what does that have to do with anything? He talks about this. He goes on and talks about it. I don't know what he's getting at here.
Limit the players to just one realm, you start to see the same people crop up.
You're gonna see. Look, we've had this discussion, Dodgey. If you were to actually have a true discussion with some of the people on Warmane and some of the staff members, you would find out that, look, this was from a staff member, somebody that you and I both know. Okay, that staff member told me that the peak population that you see, just going off the peak times. Not we know that the peak that time or the numbers that put on Warmane are only supposedly within the there's a cycling hour that they're on, or whatever they do, an hour to 2 hours. Anyways, the peak population. This person said that the peak population, only 10% of the peak population is even at level 80 on Lordaeron. Okay? And this wasn't like, a year ago. No, this was like a month or two ago this conversation was had. So 10% of the peak population. So 6,000, 10%. So 600 people are level 80 on Lordaeron. Okay? 600. How many of those do you think are actually doing PvP? How many of those do you think are actually doing PvP? So really, this so many people thing is so flawed. It's ridiculous. It's nonsense. Even if you were to do, let's say that it's the same on Warmane, that 10% of the population is level 80 on, or excuse me, not on Warmane, on Ice Crown. You're talking 1,200 players that are level 80. How many of those people do you actually think are doing PvP at one time?
And you build ties to these people, but on Crossrealm, you have a far slimmer chance of seeing the same people. Plus,
again, you're wrong. That's not true. You literally so what? It goes so what if there's 600 people that are level 80 that you're playing against? I mean,
you do start talking to someone on a different realm. Once the match is over, you both go back to your own realms again. Also, Lordaeron and Ice Crown are different realms in terms.
Okay, here we go with his different terms. Here we go with the praise the Lordaeron crap and the Ice Crown bullshit. Here we go. There's no bias, ladies and gentlemen. No bias whatsoever.
Lordaeron, there is zero pay to win.
Okay, again, I want to be clear. There is no pay to win. You can pay for all the gear, all the gems, everything you want on Ice Crown. It's still not going to make you a good player. Just like it's not going to make it's not going to make you learn how to keybind your abilities. Come on, man. Everyone with half a brain knows this. This is just absolutely ridiculous. The same old crap that Lordaeron players spew.
All gear and weapons have to be earned, unlike Ice Crown.
Unlike Ice Crown. Except here you're missing one significant part about that too. A lot of people don't have money to donate. Seriously, there are thousands upon thousands of people who do not have money to donate that play. Okay? Thousands upon thousands. I would guarantee you that most of the server does not have the money. There are a few exceptions to that rule. Myself, other people that I know, they have plenty of money, or they work a full-time job, and instead of spending their money, instead of spending their time, since they have such little time due to real-life things, stuff going on, blah, 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 they choose to spend to buy gear. Does not mean that you know what you're doing with that gear. It does not mean that you are good with it. At all. I hate that there is no such thing as pay to win. You're not winning anything when you pay for gear. You're winning nothing. You win absolutely nothing. Unless you know how to use it, know how to gem it, enchant it, and gear it. What are you winning? And even if you know all that stuff, what are you exactly winning? Somebody, please tell me what they are winning.
Where they can be bought. Although, since I started writing this video, Warmane have issued an update to help balance out battleground groups in terms of gear score.
Yeah, let's talk about gear score. Jesus fucking Christ. Balance it out according to gear score, because that means a whole lot. I mean, that's just ridiculous. How are you going to balance it out according to gear score? First of all, so what? I just put on crappy gear, get queued in, and throw my other gear on. Or is there some block that I'm not aware of them being able to do that? I don't really PvP a whole lot, but I know that either way, that's just dumb. So we're gonna do it by gear score now. Well, people are gonna find out real quickly that it has no bearing on anything. I've seen people who are in 5.5K gear score demolish 6K gear scored people just because they know what the hell they're doing. Okay, I've played PvP enough to know as long as you have sound tactics and you know your class, it is very easy to outmaneuver some people who have no idea. That's not saying that there are people who with higher gear score that just can't decimate people. Sure, that does happen. It happens a lot, and people sit there and complain about it. But this is now we're getting into this stuff that wasn't even implemented on Ice. You want the most Blizz-like server? People will demand the most Blizz-like and Blizz-like this and Blizz-like that. Hell, Warmane even made this post on their front page about how it's the most Blizz-like server. The Ice Crown's the most Blizz-like server we've got. Now it's custom content, custom all this crap, and now it's being split up by gear score. That's where they're going with this.
Although you could say that the difference in these realms is not really a big deal, as the battleground teams are a mix of the different realms. So you have Ice Crown and Lord Ron in the same team on both sides.
All right, real quick, just to let's get on Warmane right now. Now the new I believe that the new PvP turn or the new arena season, excuse me, has come out. Let's look at 2v2. Yeah, there's nobody in here from. In fact, let's just do control find, and let's look up Lord. There's one team. Nope, maybe two. Let me see. Nope, it's both the same word. Okay. There's one team in the top 50. They are 46th with a 2v2 rating of 1912. Everyone else is BlackRock and Ice Crown. So this whole myth of how, and I've seen it on the Discord channel about how, oh my god, they're going to smash us and Ice Crown players are screwed. I personally care less because I don't PvP all that much. I do BGs, that's about it. I don't arena. Yeah, it's total fake bullshit nonsense. You're telling me one team from Lordaeron, one, is even in the top. I mean, they're in the they're in the bottom 5 teams of the top 50. I mean, it is dominated by Ice Crown and BlackRock. Dominated. I mean, Shadowmoor and this, Shadowmoor. Okay, look at that. There's Rogue Priest teams. There's plenty of teams in here that aren't just straight up HPAL Warrior, which is going to be the top comp, which you see here. HPAL Warrior is pretty much the top comp in the top, 15 or so. That's what you're going to be looking at, right? Okay, well, you think down here you're going to see some different comps in the mid. You're going to see some Warlight. Here's some Spell Cleaves. There's a fucking Hunter and a Paladin. Jesus. You're going to see a whole bunch of different teams as you get lower down here, lower down the top 50 rankings. I mean, you're talking one team. One team. Jesus. All that bullshit talk.
PvP guy, I only really do battlegrounds for the achievements and to farm honor points for mounts and tabards.
Tabards. Anyways, what if you're not a big PvP guy? Oh my god, what?
I personally found that the cross-realm system to be a positive thing. More.
Why is it a positive? I have yet to hear why it's a positive thing. It helped out 2 realms. It helped out BlackRock and Ice Crown. BlackRock, which has maybe 1,000 players at peak, and Ice Crown that has 1,000 players or 6,000 players at peak, which don't even compare to the 12,000 people that play on Ice Crown. Why was that a positive thing for Ice Crown? It isn't going to help our queue times at all. And the quality of players, as I just showed you in the arena, we can even go look. I didn't even look at 3v3. I'm assuming the 3v3 is about the same story. I mean, how is that helping us at all? Let's control find. Lord. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 teams in the 3v3s, and not even a single one of them. Oh, there is one. That's 1570 rated. 1573. 3s is a little bit less played, obviously. But how is that helping anybody? Jesus Christ. Just horrendous.
More often than not, I can just queue on my main, get a match fairly quickly, so this makes farming what I'm looking for.
Get a match fairly quickly. Earlier in the video, he shows a 22-minute wait to get into a match. And he even says, sometimes it's instant, sometimes it's like this. And he shows the whole thing of like 22 minutes of him just waiting for a queue to pop. So wait, you're starting to contradict your own video here.
Easier. Plus, at some point, I will try and earn the arena achievements. So having a greater number of matches going.
You're going to earn arena achievements as a clicker. That'll be the day. Let me know when you start to PvP, Dodgey. I would like to know. I will get all the popcorn in the world, and you tell me where you're streaming at, where at, what time. I will be there. I will watch it. I don't care if it's I'm at work. I will watch that shit. It's going to be the greatest thing ever.
And on can only be a good thing. Well, this is only good if Warmane calm their fucking ban hammer down. Their way of detecting win trading a few months back was fucking awful, and drop a hell of a lot of false positives and managed to ban a lot of people unfairly.
How do you know that? What's the proof in that? I've seen a lot of people complaining about it on the Discord forums, but I've never seen any proof. Well, we just wanted to do that. I've only heard that. I've never seen it. Does anybody? Can you show us any proof of that? That'd be great.
Including PvE friends of mine that were definitely not win trading. But let's move on.
I've had people that I've known for years on Warmane who got busted for win trading and banned. Because they wanted the achievement 5v5 last man standing, because it is one of the hardest achievements to get on Warmane, because nobody queues into 5v5. You'll be waiting for a month for a queue to pop in 5v5. Also don't understand that. In retail, we never had any issues with 5v5 popping. It would take a little bit longer, but not insanely amount of times longer like it does here in Warmane. But yeah, it's not really win trading. They were just doing it for the achievement, but sorry, what are they supposed to do? I didn't know you were doing that. They're supposed to pull every group aside that does. I don't know if you were going there for win trade or what. They're not going to do that with every single group. Come on now.
How does it all work? I've spoken to Warmane because they're very proud of their tech that they've created to get.
I'm sure they are.
Cross-realm working. So I also reached out to both Tory WoW and WoW Circle to speak to those guys about how they're. Then when he answered, he had sent me a Google play there, but I do know that Tory WoW or
Alright, let's get
while on the world server, if you enter an area that is
Alright, what he's not talking about, that he's going through this thing on Warmane. He forgot to mention there was a huge problem with the Warmane servers and the cross realm BGs, that they weren't working, they were down or something a while back. This problem persisted for a couple days, and there's been plenty of problems that have gone along with this. I'm surprised. This video was released February 26th. It wasn't that long ago. These problems were predated that, so I'm surprised he didn't put that in this video. Kind of just more talking about how Warmane's so great, which is a far stark contrast to where Dodgey was and his talking about Warmane years ago. I think money definitely had an issue and a hand in that, as we all know.
Marked as cross-realm like a battleground, your packet data is duplicate. The realm server decides where you need to be, depending on what you're doing.
Okay, now here we got Dungeons and Raid servers. Now, the reason why that'll never work on Warmane is because there's a multitude of reasons why it will never work. One, you can't do that with Ice Crown and Lordaeron because the different rates. People are going to complain, well, you got your gear through Ice Crown, you could use the buff, blah blah blah. And the realm server that the cross realm is based upon has gone down before. And it's had issues. And so what's the difference to say that when they move it, all the dungeons and realms, which me and Malico have talked about them doing, and I don't know if I'm assuming that's where they're going with this eventually, how that would work, because if they're having issues, you're going to have the same things that happen now, where people log into the game and not log into the game per se, but log in. Excuse me, I'm going to get it out what I'm trying to say here. They're going to have issues on that server that is dedicated to host the dungeons and the raids. Now, if they're having problems on that, does that mean all dungeons and raids will not be accessible? You see what I'm saying here? Is if that realm itself has issues, like they have had in the past, and you can't do anything just because you can do everything else in game, but you can't do any dungeons or any raids because they're hosted on a separate server. It just makes zero sense to me, and the Ice Crown players the Lordaeron players are going to have a hard time with that, I do believe, because the different rates, and how are you going to work that out? Are you going to have to like scale things How are you going to do that exactly? There's so many moving parts into that question that I don't know how they're going to do a co-op raid server, so to speak. I just don't see it happening.
In game, the realm server will packet data to the world server or to
Yeah, blah blah blah.
does dramatically increase how efficient Warmane operates. It means that any problems affect less people.
Actually, it would affect more people, as I was saying, Dodgey. If that server goes down, you're affecting all the PvE players on all the realms. Okay? Now, I would assume it would go down less because it would be hosting less people. The reason I think Ice Crown goes down quite a bit is because there's so many people. It's so much strain on the server, and like me and Malico were talking, like that would help. With well, here's the question I have with it: what are you gonna do? Because when those people exit that raid or exit that dungeon, are more people going to be able to log into Ice Crown? Are they going to be able to log in, but aren't those spots going to be taken when the person comes out? Would that person then get booted offline? Or do you hold those spots kind of like a ghost man on first, second base, like you were a kid, playing ball? Is that just hold that spot open until you get out of that dungeon or whatever? How's that going to work? See, there's a lot of moving parts here that you can't accurately comment on. I find this to be just nonsense until it's actually implemented and we see how it works.
A few months ago, when the system was first being implemented, my guild noticed that if the world server lagged out, when you see people running on the spot, the chat channels continue to run like normal.
For a few 15 to 20 seconds, yes, they would run like normal.
And people on the battleground server didn't see any lag. This is because these things were handled on a different server to the world server.
Yeah, we know that. Okay, got it. Yep.
Plus, to be honest, I haven't seen any crashes since about the first week after the system.
You are a lying sack of shit if you have not seen any crashes. Like, they were literally just throwing... People were up in arms about it, like, a month ago. Like, I don't know what the hell kind of crack cocaine you're on, but take the dosage and cut it in half.
Was installed, and now Warmane are going to move all dungeons and raids to their own separate server. So, in theory...
Okay, yeah, me and Malico were talking about that, and yeah, I'm not a fan of that because, yeah, it'll help with the. There's got to be a better way. Honestly, what I would do, and I think is the better option, you need to split the realms up again. This whole merger of Ragnaros and Deathwing, it really caused a lot of problems in the long run where we're at now because the server is just way overpopulated. There's way too much going on. Whereas Deathwing and Ragnaros back in the day were both about steady with the population. They were both about even, and they both held their own perfectly fine. I don't know what the big thing was to move them together, and we've had so many crashes since then. I mean, damn, the server crashes at least just during the afternoons. If I'm raiding with the EU guys, I mean, you're talking like there's days where it'll go down 3 or 4 times just in the matter of those 2 to 3 hours, usually at those peak times. And there's other times it'll go down at night when I'm playing on US times, when it just crash, and just, what the hell?
If you got a disconnect while doing a raid, and then the world server went down, and you went to reconnect, it wouldn't matter, you'd still be able to go straight in, because you'd join the realm server, then the realm server would just send you straight over to the dungeon server.
Again, this is the problem, though. If the realm server that is hosting the dungeons and the raids goes down, which I would think that it would go down more than the PvP one would. Look, let's face facts here too. More people play PvE, at least on Ice Crown, than PvP. And I know the same is it's the same thing for Ice Crown. More people play PvE than they do PvP. Well, why is that, Funky? How do you know? Let's just look at some simple facts. A lot of the PvP items that you need that are best in slot come from PvE. Okay? So you basically have to do, if you want a PvP, you want to be the best, you basically have to go and do some PvE if you plan on getting the gear without spending any money on donations, or if you play on the Lordaeron realm, you are going to have to go and do PvE. There's no way around it. Okay?
And you would bypass the world server on different servers. It's more than just a way to waste your time PvPing. Anyway, that's it for now. Subscribe to me on eBay.
Oh God. Dodgy Kebab. In closing, dude, like, you're never gonna lose the fact that, like, you got paid by Warmane to do reviews after you had just got done ripping them, dude. You ripped them up one side and down the other, and I can't find the video. I'm assuming you deleted it. The one where you basically, excuse me. I think you called me out in one of the videos. Called Mercy out. Basically said a whole bunch of shit. I can't find that video anymore, so I'm assuming that video is gone. But man, you were paid by them to do a review. That is, in my mind, that is just ridiculous. I understand you're trying to make a buck, but dude, the problem is, like, you see every comment on every single video of yours is something about you buying gear on Warmane or buying gold and buying it or getting paid by Warmane and shit, man. It's hilarious that, you know, I don't even have to I don't even have to say now that everyone else knows it. That, dude, you used to hate him, and you used to be against the system, and now you're part of the system. That's the funny part. It's hilarious to me. Anyways, guys, give me your thoughts on what you think about this whole cross-realm stuff. I think it's okay in PvP. Like I said, though, the main problem that I have with it, though, is that there's so many bugs and issues that never have been fixed, that have been going on for years on Warmane. Years on Warmane that they haven't fixed yet. And instead of fixing them, instead of fixing things that more people play, like PvE, like bosses, like glyphs and scripts, and just everything to do that's still broken on the PvE side, instead of spending time doing that and appeasing the majority of your community, okay, you instead are going to appease the bottom half of your community, that is the PvP community, the hardcore PvP, the guys who only PvP. You built something for them, and now as a afterthought, now you're trying to do it as PvE. It's just ridiculous to me. It's stupid. Warmane needs to get their heads checked, and yeah, I don't know. I'm just rambling on at this point, so let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And if I fucked up saying a whole bunch of shit, I don't care. Eat my dick.